It's the Hardcore Casuals podcast.
Okay, whatever. This is content. What are we doing?
This is going into the show. Danny's just gonna fix it in post.
It's gonna be the biggest fucking Frankenstein I've ever done in my life.
Hello and welcome to the Hardcore Casuals podcast, the podcast for the hard fucking shit. Hello and welcome to the Hardcore Casuals podcast, the pot cuffing. Hello and welcome to the Hardcore Casuals podcast.
Start it again.
Am I dyslexic today?
It's me, Mario.
All right, do it again. Stop giggling like a bitch.
I'm gonna spit on your face.
Oh, are we gonna do it again?
Hello and welcome to the Hardcore Casuals podcast, the podcast for the working class geek that's too hardcore to be casual, but too casual to be hardcore. I'm Adrian.
I'm David.
I'm Danny.
And today we're going to talk about Mass Effect Andromeda.
Among other things.
Yeah, one of the things we're going to be talking about. But we do know that you two have been playing Mass Effect. I know I have not. I've kind of been avoiding that game given my past experience with Mass Effect. One of those that was just very upset after Mass Effect 3 and boycotted the franchise. So what can either of you tell me about Mass Effect Andromeda? Is it worth getting back into for somebody like myself? Or is it just something to avoid?
Moving on.
Whoa, we got two going on here. Okay, I'm going to officiate this conversation. Since David said no vehemently first, he goes first, and then Danny, you get to rebut. How's that?
Do I get 2 minutes?
No, you know what? I'm not that anal.
You're not going to moderate for 2 minutes?
I'm not going to moderate that. No, there's not an election. Go for it.
The game sucks.
So why should I not get back into Mass Effect?
Because the game sucks. That's it.
That's
excellent argument. Sucks. Now, here's my rebuttal.
your argument is pretty weak there. It sucks. That's it.
My argument is sound, and Danny's gonna go, yeah, I agree. The end.
Look.
Okay, wait, Danny, before you go on, let me just can I get one example out of you, David? One example.
You and I really, really, really liked Mass Effect for the story. We really enjoyed the story of how Shepard came to power, how he went on this journey, and that's why we were so disheartened when Mass Effect 3 ends with that RGB ending, and it's like, oh, we're just going to pick one, and then that's what's going to happen. Andromeda the ideal was to reboot the franchise and to start something new and to take them somewhere else, but it's like nobody cared about actually having the writing make sense. A point, for example, that I've brought up before is that in Mass Effect 1 through 3, you go from star system to star system within the Milky Way using the Mass Effect relays. In Mass Effect Andromeda, you're jumping all around fucking Andromeda without the aid of an Omega relay, or not the Omega relay, just a mass relay. That you're in a ship that's just going around without a Mass Effect relay, going all over the Andromeda galaxy. People say, oh, well, while you were in cryostasis, Solarians were working on the ship or whatever. They had 600 years to build out this thing to whatever to help you out. Nothing of that is ever explained. The whole situation is you get there 600 years later and suddenly you're jumping around from star to star to star, visiting all these planets. And it's like, wait a second. The original game was based off of a technology that the Asaris found and that they learned how to utilize, but it was based off of the Prothean tech that came well before them. And in this game, it's like, oh, well, we have access to similar stuff, even though this game takes place 600 years after Mass Effect because you flew out during Mass Effect. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, they got there before us.
It's like they haven't had a chance to study that technology yet. Because Shepard, when these guys ship out in Mass Effect Andromeda, Shepard is still going around doing his own thing out there. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? You feel me, man?
Yes.
I don't think.
I definitely do not feel you. We are not in the same room, unfortunately. Well, from what it sounds again, one of the things that really drew me into the original series for Mass Effect was just the detailed writing and the rich backstory. Everything had a backstory, and it was very well thought. It was very well written. It was very well developed. Up until 3, where it just you totally felt that moment where it was just like, okay, screw this, push the game out. It's incomplete. It totally felt like an incomplete game.
They pulled the rug out from under you because the original writing was to have the dark matter and all that stuff.
Yeah, that whole they start setting up that plot, and then it just goes away completely, and you get the whole red, green, blue, whatever the hell ending. But it sounds like what you talk about with Andromeda is that all that richness in the story, all that backstory, all that detail is absent. Which, again, if that's the case, which it's it seems like from what I've also been hearing from other people, there's nothing for me. That's what makes the game for me. But Danny, you enjoyed the game. You've played it. I know you've been playing it since day one. You've been doing the multiplayer and the single player, and I think you finally completed the single player.
I did.
So then sell me. Get me playing this game.
I can't. That's not a possibility. Because
okay, then your argument is invalid. Go out. The whole point was for you to try to.
No,
okay, so we all agree Mass Effect 3 sucks. Even though Mass Effect Andromeda sucks. And
I'm enjoying the crap out of the multiplayer. With the actual single player, though, there's just a lot missing. They tried to recapture the spark of Mass Effect 1 when we didn't know anything about anything because we were playing it for the first time. That's what they tried to do here, and it fell flat on its face, in my opinion. It's not.
But look at Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 1, you have the Asari.
Yeah, that's
another
thing.
You have the Solarians. You have the Rachni. You have the Krogans. You have all of these different races. And then
don't forget
in Mass
the humans.
Effect, obviously. But then in Mass Effect Andromeda, you have the Angarans and the Ket. That's it.
Ket and Angaran and more robots.
Wait. You're in a whole new galaxy?
With 2 races.
And there's only 2 races aside from humans? And
exactly.
Well, how about the original Mass Effect races? Are they in? They're in there.
Yeah, they're
there. But the way they set up Mass Effect Andromeda is actually that Andromeda belongs entirely to the Angarans. That they're the only ones there. And then the Ket come, and then they start wreaking havoc in their galaxy, and the Ket are trying to take over.
Whoa, hold on. Time out. You're telling me that according to Mass Effect Andromeda, the entire Andromeda galaxy, which is larger than the Milky Way galaxy, is only comprised of one race.
But that's what I'm telling you. It's like nobody actually studied this. Nobody looked into any of this to make any sense of it. They're just like, let's write some shit. Let's just put it together. And after Danny and I read an article today that was talking about the troubled development of Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because there's parts in it where when you're traveling from star system to star system, it cuts to like a first-person view of you flying to the planet. And for me personally, I've always gotten the impression that BioWare wanted to make this like No Man's Sky. They wanted it to be where you actually fly around 2 planets and discover them, and then land on the planet and then use the Nomad to drive around. And then they realized, shit, this is going to be a lot of work. We can't, actually they're French. Sacre bleu. we're not going to be able to do this. And then it all went to shit, and then they had to double back and redo it.
See, that just sounds to me like another ongoing issue in the whole media and entertainment industry, going, movies, video games, all that stuff, where the way you're describing it, they were trying to make another game like No Man's Sky or Star Citizen, maybe a better example of what they're trying to do, Elite Dangerous or whatever. But then they put the Mass Effect name on it, and that really irks me when someone tries to take an established name, a different idea, and then attach that established name to it and say, hey, this is the new Mass Effect. It has nothing to do with Mass Effect.
Adrian, let me put it to you this way. There's a reason why they put the franchise on ice.
¿Por qué?
Because of all of this. BioWare Montreal, they're not working on this, and they'll work on updates and they'll keep patching multiplayer and all that stuff, but as far as making, for example, the sequel to this one, it's not going to be happening for a while. Mass Effect as a franchise is on hold for now. It's not canceled, it's just on hold.
In the gaming industry, on hold could basically mean death.
What I don't understand is Mass Effect is like the premier franchise for BioWare. It's the fucking franchise. And what I don't understand is why would they give that to their Montreal team who's only done side content for Mass Effect 2 and 3?
Yeah, exactly.
Edmonton was the one that created the Mass Effect proper. So why wouldn't you give it back to them instead of having them work on your next franchise that's way down the line? It's kind of like they didn't really care for Mass Effect Andromeda to be successful to begin with. They just gave Montreal a shot, which is okay. But when you see that Montreal is really dropping the ball And when they read the first draft of the script or the outline of it, and it makes no sense whatsoever, someone has to throw in the white towel in there and be like, "Yo, we gotta redo this. This isn't working."
What I don't understand is how nobody threw red flags during all of the writing. Forget the production, the writing. When they were writing this, how did nobody take a step back?
Screw the writing. I'm surprised nobody threw the red flag when the first demos of the animations and the facial animations came out. That was horrendous.
It's like I can deal with technical glitches like that. Danny and I have been playing, and I've shown him screenshots of where I have no floor.
Yeah,
I'm just running around on like nothingness,
and it's awesome
because the floor never loaded. I can deal with that kind of stuff because I'm like, whatever. It's like shit happens.
Yeah,
they'll patch it, whatever. But when your fundamental core of the game, which is the script writing, is bad, there's no excuse for that. It's like this game, without trying to get into spoilers or anything, you go to Andromeda, and there's a ship out there that's waiting for your arrival. This is like opening parts of the game where you find out that the ship had a revolt, and a lot of those people left the ship to populate certain planets around there. When you're going through all these different planets in the game, you're finding your species from Milky Way everywhere. It's like, how many people were on that first ship? It's kind of like, what did you need an ark for to go out there if that ship was stocked with so many freaking people?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's you get there and there's like multiple, a plethora of factions just of.
Yeah, there's like factions already. People have formed governments.
There's factions
on some of these planets.
Yeah.
It's like, how late am I? I know it's been asleep for 600 years, but
600 years to
freaking
freaking procreate and make more.
Does the story? One of the things that made Mass Effect that got me when I started playing the first game, and it just escalated and grew bigger as you kept on going, was the weight behind the story. You know, the first Spectre, what's Saren doing? Oh, Reapers! Oh shit, Reapers are really gonna screw up the galaxy. Like, it just kept on progressing. Is there that type of weight and investment in the story in this one?
No, and not in the characters either. There is no weight whatsoever.
No. There is no. I mean, it has potential to branch out into something bigger, but
then what's the point? That's
because to give you an idea of what I was saying before.
That's why I played Mass Effect.
The thing that I was telling you before about it seeming like they originally wanted a No Man's Sky is that you're not a Spectre, you're a Pathfinder. Now, if you boil that down to the very fundamental basis of what a Pathfinder is, and the idea of you're this guy who's supposed to find them their golden world. If you think about that and you say, okay, the game is open world like Star Citizen or Elite Dangerous, that sounds like an interesting game. You're the guy that's supposed to be leading your race to their new beginning. So you're jumping from planet to planet to planet to find your home. That sounds like a cool game, but that's not what the game ended up becoming. I feel like that was their plan, and then they shifted it. So then now you're on this linear journey of visiting 4 or 5 planets, and you're still the Pathfinder, even though you know exactly where you're going from the very beginning of the game. It's like, okay, we're here. Oh, someone just said that we have to go to this other planet. Here's the nav point. That's where it is. Okay, it's like the whole system is already charted. None of it makes any sense as to actually being a Pathfinder. It's not an uncharted territory, which is what would make it cool.
So you're a Pathfinder, but the path has already been founded.
Basically, but no one's been there before you except the native race. Speaking of the native race, which just reminded me, you end up in Andromeda. You meet these 2 new races. You're speaking English.
Perfect English.
Maybe they have that the Babelfish, from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Say the translator,
universal translator from Star Trek.
Say the artificial intelligence is so good it's translating. You've never been there before. How's it going to translate a language you've never experienced?
Hold on. That goes into the whole faction thing, because when you first encounter the factions on, where was it, Kadara, there are Angaran outlaws there as well. Like they've all. So I guess the only argument to that is, well, they had 600 years to learn the language.
But those 600 years that you've been traveling, everybody else has too, because when you reach Kadara, you reach any of these planets, the people that have left the Nexus talk about being first-hand people that left the Nexus. It's not like the kids of people that left the Nexus. These are people that said, I was part of the revolt and I left. So you're not that far behind. You're not that super late.
Do they
where it's like
speak
generations
English?
have passed.
It's
You know,
cryo
like,
sleep. It's all cryo
do they
sleep.
speak broken English? Do they have difficulty
No,
understanding
they-
these
No,
It's
words?
it's like
perfect
fluid.
English.
It's like
Fluid.
fluid English, and then you look at their panels and shit. It's got numbers on it, human
Yeah,
numbers.
So it's
right-
not
right
like
now-
Star Trek's Universal Translator, where it just takes a couple of words and then it could build the language on top of that.
You
No,
expect
no.
that to be the case because you read data pads that say translated from whatever their native language is. But no point before that does anyone ever say, oh, I'm translating their language. Nothing ever says that. And you're the only one that's equipped with this super badass artificial intelligence that could be doing that for you. But like Danny said, you're on a pirate planet where everybody's mingling together and they're all talking to each other and they're all speaking English.
You see,
Even
that's
if it was
what I mean.
Russian or French, I don't care. Those are languages from Earth, let alone the Milky Way. Earth. And now you're going to Andromeda and everybody's speaking your language. Give me a break.
Yeah,
Nobody
that's-
even thought of that.
That's lazy. That's
Super lazy.
That's lazy writing, and it's not even one that's hard to do. Like I don't know if any of you guys. Oh, Danny, I know you like Star Trek.
Yes.
I don't know if you like it as much as I do. You watched Enterprise. Did you watch Enterprise?
Heck yeah. Oh, wait, the one with Scott Bakula?
Yeah.
I have not.
The one that takes place before the
No.
original series. All right, so they did an interesting thing. I was curious to watch Star Trek Enterprise because it takes place before the original series. So this is before Kirk.
Right.
This is when humanity just learned warp. You know, they just finished getting to, I think their max speed is like warp 3 or warp 4, whatever. And they're just branching out beyond the solar system and using their warp technology and first encountering races. And it's like, okay, you see how they're developing. And all it took was saying, oh, you know, we have a universal translator. All you got to do is, all it needs to do is to get somebody speaking enough, and the computer will be able to start phonetically, you know, diagramming and translating that language. So that way you can speak it and you can understand it. I mean, that's what, one paragraph of writing, and boom, you solve this big, huge thing. And it looks like Mass Effect Andromeda could even do that.
Nope.
Pretty much.
They decided not to. They decided to have everyone just speaking our language right out of the box, literally. The only thing is, I've been trying to like hold off on certain things. David, you really should finish the game. The story does get better and it does explain a couple of things, but it's not enough to. But you should finish it just the same.
Is there as good of a payoff as there was in Mass Effect 1 or even Mass Effect 2? Forget Mass Effect 3, but at least as good of a payoff as in Mass Effect 1.
Of course not. No. I'm going to have to say confidently that's a negative. Negative Ghost Rider.
Because how can you even compare to the peril of Mass Effect 1, where you're finding out that there's this super intelligent space race that's coming to wipe you all out. Meanwhile, the guy who's the elite of your interplanetary allegiance is going out and aiding them.
Yeah.
How can you even compare to that?
See, that Mass Effect 1 had such that's good story writing. And the thing is, as good as Mass Effect 2 was, and the game itself improved upon Mass Effect 1, it would not have been so good if Mass Effect 1 didn't have such a great story that 2, you know, came off of. And that's why we play games by BioWare, you know. And everything I'm hearing from the both of you and what I've been seeing from the reviews and everything is that this game lacks it completely.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to spend the $60 to do. I might even play for free.
If you want to casually play a Mass Effect game with a subpar story, and then you'd want to play Andromeda. If you want something like the original trilogy up until before RGB, then no. Do not.
Okay, so going back to something I was mentioning previously, should this even be a Mass Effect game? Should it just be its own game without Mass Effect?
I don't think it matters. I think it's so poorly written and so poorly developed that it shouldn't be titled anything. They should have rewritten it.
Should it just be Pathfinder?
No. Actually,
Nothing. It doesn't even matter. It's just so poorly written that it doesn't even seem like a BioWare game.
Okay, how about this? Bad Space Game.
You're getting closer, but like a budget title. It's that bad. So it's one of those things that if you're hankering for a BioWare game and you played Mass Effect and you played Knights of the Old Republic, and you haven't played their entire library, go back and play Jade Empire, because Jade Empire is a really good game, especially by comparison. It has nothing to do with space, but it's all about martial arts, but it has that BioWare spark. It has that good writing. It has that, well, good in quotes, but it has that specialness where you're like, man, this feels like the BioWare of old. This is what I really cherish about how they make games.
Because it is BioWare of old? It's an old game, no?
Yeah. But some people didn't even play Jade Empire.
You made there.
A lot of people just went from Dragon Age to Mass Effect, and that's it. They never played Jade Empire. And nowadays, with kids, they never even play Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh man, no, Knights of the Republic, the first Dragon Age. I couldn't get into Dragon Age 2 and let alone Dragon Age 3, but the first Dragon Age, oh god,
Yeah, the first one was really good. Yeah,
I mean, I don't like again, like you said, BioWare. That's that BioWare perfection.
Yeah, I played half of Dragon Age Origins. I only played half of it, and that's only because I didn't have the time to really get invested and play it all the way through. But what I played of it, I was like, yeah, this is the right thing.
Oh god,
I'm feeling this. But then I played a little bit of Dragon Age Inquisition, and I was like, nope.
I'm not feeling this.
Nope.
Do not want.
I loved Dragon Age Origins so much that I replayed it. I think I replayed it 3 times, beginning to end, with as many things I could fit in between as possible. I love Dragon Age Origins.
That's how I feel about Final Fantasy Tactics.
And then I went into Dragon Age Inquisition, and I held on like even longer than I should have. Like an hour into the game, I'm like, this isn't the same. Well, let me keep buggering on. Let me see. And I probably invested 30 hours into the game, and
that's
I
a lot
just
of hours.
Yeah, no. I really tried, and it was like, yeah, forget it. So
that's a lot of hours.
So then when part 3 came out, I was like, yeah, nope.
Yeah, I'm not even that big into fantasy games, but Dragon Age Origins, holy crap, I played the hell out of that game. DLCs and everything. That game was amazing.
Right.
I still remember
the great story, great characters.
Yeah.
The combat was fantastic. I mean, it was very immersive. It was a wonderful game. Shit, now I want to replay it again.
Let's do it.
It's all about the lepers coming, right? And they're gonna eradicate the whole race.
The lepers.
And
no, was it the lepers? No, it was the what was the thing called?
Jeez, I honestly don't.
Scourge?
Remember. Oh, no, it's the Scourge. Was it the Scourge? I know it involves the like this dark power that's derived from like the times of the dragons when all of the dragons ruled the earth. And basically, like you drink it, you drink like its essence or its blood or whatever.
Yeah,
and you become
you into to become the
Pathfinder.
Oh my gosh, man. the Pathfinder. Don't fucking say that shit.
Oh, because there's Scourge
that's
in
what they should
Andromeda
do.
as well.
They should tie
The
Dragon
warden.
Age.
You're a warden.
There you go, the warden.
They should tie Dragon Age into Mass Effect. So at the end of Dragon Age, you find out you're the first Reaper. And then you have to destroy everybody.
The Reapers were really dragons. Holy shit.
Bum, bum, bum.
They weren't Leviathans at all. That's
mind blown.
But yeah.
And then you show Shepard.
Yeah, I still remember the funniest thing that happened to me in Dragon Age Origins. I was going through like this canyon or of sorts. You go through this temple, and through the temple you end up in like this. You end up inside the mountain. You keep going across like the whole of the mountain, and you go into like into a cave that's actually like a temple, another temple. And when you cross it, there's like this sort of a plateau connected to the side of the slope of the mountain. That has a dragon sleeping on it. And I'm looking at that thing and I'm like, I wonder if I can wake it up. So I started throwing attacks at it. You know, nothing's happening, but I'm seeing like ticks of damage of like -7 just going up. And I'm like, oh, so I am hurting it. So I decided to do the Inferno attack, the most powerful attack I have. And I shot it right at the dragon. I landed the shot. The thing wakes up, takes one look at me. He's like, you, me now. And I was like, oh, I was hauling ass. I turned around and I see the dragon had the dwarf in his mouth and he's just shaking it. Like a freaking alligator trying to kill its prey. It was the funniest thing I had ever seen. You just see blood gushing everywhere. Oh, that was so good.
Dragon Age. I want to play it now. Oh, by the way, you're the Grey Warden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
You join the rest of the Grey Wardens. You're fighting the Darkspawn against the Blight.
Yes.
There you go.
That was it.
Yeah, that was again great freaking story, great freaking game.
And your
Another-
last name is Shepard.
Grey Warden Shepherd. Oh man. And then you had that little. Again, just the things, the meats and potatoes about the BioWare games. So it's just like the little relationships between the characters. And I remember I loved Alistair. I loved the relationship with Alistair and what you could do with Alistair. And the witch, what was her name? Morgan? Was her name
Morgan. Yeah.
Morgan.
Oh my God, Morgan.
Yep.
Oh my God, if she was a real person.
Yo,
oh,
I piped the crap out of that chick. Holy
But I would
crap.
hate her. That's one of those women you would love and hate at the same time. You would want to pipe the crap out of her, but you would hate her at the same time.
Yes.
You couldn't help but like, yeah. Morgan was fantastic. I mean,
I feel miserable.
Angry
I
sack.
hate myself right
why
now.
do I love you and hate you?
Angrily, yeah.
but yeah. Again, that's like, where is that in Mass Effect Andromeda? I haven't seen it in any
It's
of
nowhere.
It's nowhere
It's
to be
nowhere.
found. No, of course
That's
not.
the answer. It's nowhere.
Yeah.
Mass Effect Andromeda is just like so devoid. It takes itself too seriously. And it's like, if you were to ask somebody to write a script about a subject they have no knowledge about, but try to make it sound as official as possible, that's kind of what Mass Effect Andromeda feels like. It's like you told
analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
it's
you
like
go. That's
someone
spot on.
has no idea about sci-fi, and you tell them, give me the most convincing sci-fi you could think of. And that's what they did. And it's not convincing at all. It's terrible.
Well, speaking of sci-fi, let's go ahead and get off the video game topic. Who's excited?
What?
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 I mean, if you want me to spend 2 hours talking about Zelda, I can, but I was thinking to talk about something
This has
else.
been the Hardcore Casuals podcast.
Don't let Adrian talk about Zelda. We'll be here for the rest of the night. Sci-fi. Dude, we got
The next
two-
generation.
No. We got two. Well, I'm interested in these two movies coming out fairly soon. We got Blade Runner. The sequel
Yes.
to Blade Runner.
2049.
And then we also got Alien Covenant, probably the most interesting alien movie, potentially the most interesting alien movie since Aliens.
Yes.
I don't know. That one I'm really excited about.
Two thumbs
because
up.
I don't know. Well, let's wait till we see the movie, all right? That's not.
No,
jump
I'm
our
waiting.
guns.
I'm waiting for them to come out. Basically, I'm just like, yes, I'm agreeing with you. But
And actually, and then on top of that, also It. And the reason I bring up It was because there were only two movies when I was a kid that really got me scared. That I was too scared to watch. I would either have to walk out of the room, close my eyes, just remember feeling terror and dread. And that was Alien, the first Alien, and It.
I'll
So
give you
now-
Alien, but it is a shitty movie.
hold on. Compared to now,
As a kid. No,
As
you know
a
what?
kid,
I re-
maybe. But
I
it's also
rewatched
a
it
product of
recently.
the times.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if you
it's-
watch it now, holy good lord.
Yeah.
You go back and you watch that and you're
One of-
like,
one of those.
"Ah."
now I feel like
Alien-
watching it. I've
No,
never
I
actually
re-
seen the
it's
original.
so
It,
bad.
I've
It's
watched
so bad.
actually having the trailers of the of the new It made me want to rewatch the original one, and you know what? It doesn't hold up, but Alien still holds up.
Oh heck
Because
yeah, of
Alien
course.
holds up.
I feel
Frickin-
like one of the big reasons why it does not hold up is that it wasn't originally a movie. It was a miniseries. And when you take that into account, it feels a little bit better. It's more of a TV kind of thing. Especially
does-
back then, where TV stuff normally was second rate. It wasn't top notch. And
Yeah.
they have to go by off the material, and the material had the spider and all that kind of stupid stuff. But yeah, it's just it's a
No,
it's a
like-
tough one.
Like it did feel a little episodic. It did feel when I rewatched it, it did feel a little like there were some things in between. It felt a little lower budget,
Yeah.
compared to other movies released at the same time. Yeah, definitely more like a TV series, but just the concept of it and just Tim Curry's portrayal of that clown and what he was doing. Just I don't know. For me, it just really disturbed me when I was young. So I'm looking forward to seeing both of those movies. And Alien comes out. Alien Covenant comes out. Actually, it's pretty soon, right?
Yeah, Aliens looks like it's going to be really good. Blade Runner, ugh. Ryan Gosling, no, thank you.
I'm waiting for Blade Runner. Fuck that.
Blade Runner. On the topic of Blade Runner, no,
That's
I
Ryan
love.
Gosling, why?
Harrison Ford.
You look at the
Harrison
previews.
Ford.
He's
Yeah,
going to
but-
have 5 minutes in that movie. You realize this, right?
I
Probably, but who cares?
I almost think, just based off of Ryan Gosling's emotionless expressions, every shot he has,
It would actually be perfect for him.
I think he's a replicant already.
Exactly,
Like, that's
yeah.
it. He's a replicant.
It works.
Spoiler, maybe. The twist ending is that he's not. He's just a really dope person.
A year before the movie comes out, Ryan Gosling is a replicant, not in Blade Runner, in real life.
He's really a replicant.
That's awesome.
But man, no, like David, have you seen the original Blade Runner?
Of course, yeah.
Danny, you as well.
Yeah, I
right?
saw it. Yeah.
That movie was just. I mean, that's like really good sci-fi right there.
Yeah, that's one of those movies that keeps you guessing the whole time, wondering, is he a replicant?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like you go through the movie wondering that.
No, and depending on your mindset and your worldview, the main antagonist, he may not be all that bad. The bad guy, and I'm forgetting his name. He's just trying to live. He's trying to stay alive. He knows he has an expiration that he's trying to find a way. The main one in Blade Runner.
The German-looking guy or the guy from Battlestar Galactica?
Both?
Yes.
Oh, no.
The guy who was born like in 2015 recently.
Edward James Olmos wasn't a bad guy. He was just,
He's
depending on
badish.
which movie, because there's the original, there's the director's cut, there's blah, 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 where Deckard is a replicant, where he isn't a replicant. But
Picard?
Edward James Olmos.
Picard is a replicant?
Picard.
Deckard.
Captain
Deckard.
Jean-Luc Picard of the U.S.
That explains everything.
We're going to combine every sci-fi movie into one amalgam word.
They all share a universe. It's the sci-fi cinematic universe.
Ooh. Well, anyways, where Deckard is being observed by Edward James Olmos, so he's not really the bad guy. Edward James Olmos, he's just another cop. The German guy is the bad guy, but his intention isn't to be evil. His intention is to survive. I have an expiration date. I'm trying to live here. Unfortunately, he kills a couple people in the process, which makes him the bad guy. But it's like that's like the type of humanity and questionable morals and ethics and that makes a good movie. That I loved about Blade Runner, and I hope we see that in the new one.
I don't know. I like Running Man.
Just want. I'm good. I'm about your spine. Hope you send enough room for my fist.
We need more Arnold.
Sub-Zero. Now just plain zero. Oh, one-liners.
Jeez.
Has anyone else delivered those one-liners as well as he?
Of course not. There can only be one.
Oh, Arnold.
Oh man, I was actually rewatching the Conan the Barbarian movies.
Oh, jeez. He had no lines there.
He did.
Yeah.
He was dubbed. He was dubbed.
And of course,
He
the
was dubbed.
legendary "Clutch your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women." I mean, I want to get that tattooed on my back. Like those are words to live by.
You should put it on top of your penis or on your penis.
Clutch the vulva, see it drip before you. Also, I don't know about you guys, but I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2 the other day. I don't know if you guys are into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but
Heck yeah.
I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. It's funny because it got me thinking, and I know
It was funny?
Oh my god, that movie! It's interesting. That movie had me laughing. At the funny moments were so good. I watched both movies back to back. I actually was here in the living room. Maria and I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and then we just walked out. As you know, we have the movie theater literally across the street, and we watched part 2 afterwards. And it was interesting seeing the differences between both parts. As the first movie, wonderful comic book movie, fast-paced, action-packed, hilarious, just really well written, really well shot, and it kept you going. There was really no slow moments. I was surprised with part 2 that there were actually very slow moments, very very slow moments. The action scenes when things were lit up, they were on point. If anything, better than the first one. The humor, more so, but then you had these really slow moments, and I don't want to get into too much spoilers, but it's part of the movie. They established that Ego, the living planet, is Star-Lord's father. which
Spoiler alert! What the fuck?
it's the integral plot of the movie. It's not a spoiler. It's
It was
Spoiler
in
alert.
it was in the trailers.
Kurt Russell.
It was in the
Kurt Russell-
trailers.
Yeah, Kurt Russell plays Ego, the living planet.
Snake Plissken.
Which
Ego
even
the
though in
Barbarian?
the real comics he's not
Yeah.
Star-Lord's dad. In
Kurt
this
Russell,
movie,
no,
for some reason-
not in the real comics.
no. Ego is not Star-Lord's dad in the comics, but in the movie,
Kurt Russell is. Snake Plissken.
they made Ego Star-Lord's biological father.
So my
And
question is,
there's actually a scene in that movie where he plays catch with him.
Oh.
And it just slow. I remember watching this. I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. Catch with your dad, cutesy, yeah. But not only is it slow, they then do it in slow motion. So it's a slow ass scene done in slow motion.
to 80s music.
Overall, freaking amazing movie. It's still worth watching. I don't know how you guys haven't seen it yet. Have you, Danny?
I'm gonna see it next week.
Oh, Kurt Russell.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Still probably one of the better Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. By the way, Stan Lee's cameo. Danny, I know probably you'll appreciate it. I know Matt would love it.
Mhm.
David, maybe, I don't know, but if you're that deep into
I
it,
wouldn't
you
care.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't. But
I'm the
Stan Lee's
casual.
cameo. I mean, I want to spoil it for everybody right now, but
Don't,
I'll
no.
just do it.
I want to be surprised.
But it's his best cameo because Stan Lee is basically Stan Lee. It is
Nice.
great.
Excellent.
You will love it.
Nice.
Yeah. So definitely check out Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did Kurt Russell encounter Big Trouble in Little China? That's what I want to know.
No, because he was his own planet. He didn't need China.
He discovered Big Trouble in his own planet.
I wanted to see him fight Raiden.
But Danny, did you see Big Trouble in Little China?
Ages ago.
What?
Ages ago. Yeah, ages ago.
That's
Leave
still a
right
movie.
now. Leave right now and watch it.
Huh?
That's still a movie. Like if I'm like bored one night, like Maria's like if I'm like off, Maria's working and I'm bored, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'll put on Big Trouble in Little China. That's a
That's a
freaking
movie you
amazing.
watch every
Yeah.
month. If you're lucky, you watch it every month.
It's one of those like it's so bad movies that it's good. You know?
Yeah, I haven't
Like,
seen it in,
I mean, the
in a
effects
very,
are
very long
terrible.
time.
Like guy who blows himself up at the end, like that's such a horrible but fun effect. I'm so mad you killed my master.
That movie is awesome.
They had they recently
course-
they recently released a crossover between Big Trouble in Little China and Escape from L.A. or New York. So you had both. You had Snake Plissken and the other dude there in the same universe.
But it's
Exactly.
both Kurt Russell.
Yes, Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell
Wait.
teamed up with
It's a
Kurt
comic?
Russell.
It's a comic?
It's a comic, yeah.
Tell us
That doesn't-
about this amazing comic that I must read one day.
I
does
didn't
not
read it. I
compute.
just saw about it, and I was like, "Oh, you got to be freaking kidding me!"
Are they drawn the same way? Do they
Yeah.
look the same?
Yeah,
They
they were
both look
drawn
like
the
Kurt
same
Russell.
way. Yeah, they both had
Oh,
long hair. The only difference is one had an eye patch.
Yeah, of course. Well, what's the name of this comic? I gotta check it out. And for our
It's
listeners,
hang on, I'll find out. But I think it was just the name of the movies. Yeah, it's literally called Big Trouble in Little China: Escape from New York, issue 1.
wait, that's literally the name.
That's
Big
literally-
Trouble in Little China: Escape from New York.
That is literally the title of the comic. Yes.
Oh my god, I gotta read it. I totally gotta read it. Oh man.
Wow. Ghost in the Shell is actually available online already.
No crap.
Well,
it
didn't that-
sucked.
That movie, I heard that the only country it did okay in was China.
No, Japan.
It did alright in Japan, but well,
I don't see how
they
it
all
did well in Japan.
They all want to impregnate Scarlett Johansson. Well, it doesn't,
Oh,
but
okay, there you go.
But it's like Scarlett Johansson has already had roles where she's been nude. So why the hell didn't she just play the part like it's supposed to be? She's supposed to be nude.
That's true. Yeah, the original in the anime
is
she's naked. I completely forgot about that. Man, that's why I didn't want to be bothered. That's why I didn't bother with that movie. It just looks so bad, so bad.
No, when I saw the trailer, I was like, you're trying to. That's one thing about me personally. When I could tell the intention of someone, something, whatever, it turns me off. And when I saw the trailer for Ghost in the Shell, I just knew it was a cash grab. It was like, Ghost in the Shell, you like Ghost in the Shell, watch our Ghost in the Shell movie. I'm like, yeah, no.
I'm watching the trailer right now and it's bothering me.
You know what I am also waiting for is I almost said Guardians. The other one, Thor 2.
Alien.
No, I mean, Thor 3. Stupid. Thor 3.
Thor Ragnarok.
There you
Oh
go,
my
Ragnarok.
gosh.
I almost called it as Guardians of the Galaxy.
I haven't been. Well, I think there's a good reason as to why.
Yeah, the trailer.
First of all, I haven't been this excited for a Thor movie since the first one, because Thor was one of my favorite Marvel characters growing up. The second movie, I almost forgot. Have forgotten completely. But the trailer for the third one, it seems to be bridging the gap between the cosmic universe
Yeah.
and the regular Marvel Cinematic Universe, and start bridging hopefully what will be that Infinity War story.
Well, that's what they're doing. Yeah.
I can't wait for the one after that. Thor.
This is not Fast and the Furious where they put the
Thor
number into the title.
It'll be Thor.
Oh, but can I just say? I mean, it's funny. Well,
Infinity
my,
Thor.
my girlfriend Marie also, like, because we watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 the other day. They played the trailer again for Thor Ragnarok, and again just seeing Kate Blanchett as Hela. I mean, oh god,
She's hella what?
she's hella hot.
Hella hot.
Oh gosh, man, I've never seen Kate Blanchett look so freaking good, man.
Right? Yeah. Neither have
Oh,
I. Especially
couldn't
when
watch
she's
that.
wearing all in black.
No, actually, no, but it's great that you mentioned Thor 3, because again, that I think it looks like it's going to be the movie that just brings everything together. Like, because Marvel has been taking its sweet time,
Of course.
building this universe, getting all those characters established. I mean, let's talk about good timing. Let's talk about good development. Marvel has been doing this now for the past, 12 years. How long has it been?
2007 or 8, I think.
Basically since Iron Man, since the original
Yeah.
Iron.
Since 2007 or 8. I think it's 8. Oh, 8.
Yeah, so the better part of a decade, they've been developing this universe slowly but surely, establishing each character, what makes them tick, what's their background, what's their, what makes, who they are, their foundation, the moral foundations, everything about each individual character. Then boom, we got the Avengers, and now we got Guardians of the Galaxy. Now we're going into Thanos and the Infinity Wars, slowly but surely, which is, it's been a wonderful. Yes, some of the movies, some of the characters, I haven't. I mean, although I loved Captain America, some of the Captain America movies, I
can't stand Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, but I mean, Iron Man 3, oh my god, I forgot that one completely. That was terrible. But I mean, you're not going to hit a home run all the time.
You sound way too hardcore right now.
They won't all be winners. We know that.
But I'm casual about it, man.
Yeah,
You're
he's being
not being
casual.
casual. You're being very hardcore right now. It's so
casual.
hardcore. I feel like I should be giving my credit card number.
I can't. I can't name you a director that I'm not that hardcore.
Jon Favreau did Iron Man.
Okay, well there you go. You're more hardcore than me then. I just know it was that fat guy who played the butler.
You know who Jon Favreau is.
Yep.
I don't know his name. I don't
Yeah, you
give
do.
a shit.
He just said it. It's Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau.
He did Jungle Book. He's the bodyguard in all of the Iron Man movies. He's also in Swingers. Come on, you know who Jon Favreau is.
Yeah, but I don't know his name.
He
Jon
just said his
Favreau.
name.
I know his face.
We just accomplished this.
That's where I'm hardcore and casual. I'm hardcore enough to know his face, but casual enough to not know his name.
This has been the Hardcore Casuals podcast.
I'm Adrian.
That's my line, bitch.
That's getting back at you for the first time you said my name for no inexplicable reason. Actually, there was a reason. I was like, I'm Danny.
What do you mean? We haven't had any other shows.
Okay, so for anybody
You're right.
who's
Whoops.
still listening, or if this is
Time
going to be one of the
paradox.
outtakes, we have tried to make our first episode for the better part of maybe 2 months now.
For the better part of
So
2017.
Danny's mentioning things that happen in those false and incomplete takes.
It's because God has frowned on us. Every time that we think we're going to be able to get the show done, something happens. Every single time, without fail, we're ready to make it happen, and then one of us has some godforsaken issue that we have to be like, yeah, sorry guys.
Or we have some sort of technical issues. One time
Technical difficulties
Yeah,
that we blame Danny for.
all
Blame me for.
technical things are blamed on Danny. But one time we did think we had our first episode done, and then we ended up sounding like we came out of a Mr. Roboto movie. In fact, actually, this is exactly how it came out. This was the intro. Sorry, I put the phone on mute because I actually care about this thing. So that's what the
Intergalactic,
first episode
intergalactic,
ended up
planetary.
sounding like. It was like,
Gentlemen, how are you?
all your
bases
bases belong to us.
Ha 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 ha.
That's awesome.
So sometimes, so forgive us. You may hear us reference before one time it's from all those failed episodes.
Well, I guess that wraps it up. Thanks for joining us. This has been the Hardcore Casuals podcast. We are three childhood friends whose motto is just good enough. We are hardcore about a variety of topics, but too casual to be experts at any of them. Be sure to join us next time on this journey of mediocrity. I'm David.
I'm Adrian.
I'm Danny.
We are hardcore about a variety of topics, but too casual to be experts at any of them. Be sure to join us
I'm
next
Danny.
time on this journey of mediocrity.
Why'd you do that? Me.
G.I. Joe!